Hello everybody, JTISREBORN here, and welcome back to another edition of my Batman the Animated Series reviews. This time I'm going to be taking a look at episode 21, Feet of Clay, Part 2. So, with Feet of Clay Part 2, it picks up after the events of the first one. You know, at the very end of that, like, Bruce Wayne went to jail. This time he's, like, exiting his one-night sentence, you know, because there's charges against him for apparently assaulting Lucius Fox, even though we know that was Matt Hagen in disguise, aka Clayface, who was doing that as a job for Roland Daggett. So Roland Daggett can get some incriminating evidence on Bruce Wayne so he can take over. So now at this point, Hagen is now Clayface, and the animation is quite good. Ron Perlman does a good job with voicing the character as well. So in this one, you know, Bruce Wayne finally confronts Clayface for the first time, and, you know, they gotta try and stop him, and they also, like, have to stop Daggett because, you know, Daggett's an asshole, and he's done some bad stuff, but, you know, you get the idea. So anyways, this one, compared to part one, not sure if I like this one more or less. It's kind of a toss-up, really. Like, these are both pretty even in terms of, like, quality episodes, but I definitely, there's some funnier bits in part one. Like, for instance, I thought that the scene where Batman took that one henchman and, like, picked him up and, like, held him over the city was pretty funny, just to, like, interrogate him. There's also kind of a funny bit where Batman's in disguise and he's, like, going through, like, this TV monitor room or whatever, and he's just putting, like, tapes in them, because later on in the episode, like, he, you know, confronts Clayface, Matt Hagen, and he just starts playing things on the monitor. I guess he planned for Clayface to somehow end up in that room, or was he just going to play him on the TV? I don't know. Like, I guess he just planned that to just go down as a precautionary thing. I don't know. It's kind of strange. But anyway, so Hagen is just, you know, he's having trouble controlling himself and maintaining forms. Then eventually he's able to do it pretty consistently, which begs the question, like, why doesn't he just go back to, you know, being an actor? He was complaining about, like, oh no, it's too hard to maintain this as a concentration. And I'm like, well, you can still do acting. You just, you know, it took you like a day to master all that stuff. So he could still be an actor, but I guess he just gives all that up. And, like, that's the thing with this episode, too. I'm like, it could have just been avoided if, you know, Clayface wasn't really stupid. Because I'm like, dude, come on. Like, you're able to maintain forms for a pretty good extended period of time. Like, at first it's difficult, but by the end you pretty much had it mastered. So, yeah, you could still have been an actor. Just saying. But anyways, that doesn't matter anyways. So Hagen at one point is in the audience at an event for Roland Daggett. So Daggett is basically on TV promoting his new product to, like, prevent recalls. Like, it's a talk show for Summer Gleason. So he's, like, talking about how great this chemical Renew or whatever, it prevents, you don't have to do as much in plastic surgery. And then all of a sudden this, like, one chick stands up, and it kind of reminded me of the movie Total Recall, where Arnold Schwarzenegger was in disguise as that one woman. He's like, 2 weeks. So this one woman stands up and starts yelling and yelling and yelling about the dangerous products. And he's like, remember what it did to me, Daggett. And it's like, oh my god, it's Clayface. So then he starts to fight Batman, and then he almost kills Daggett, but Batman stops him. And then all of a sudden, on the monitors in that room that Batman had placed those tapes in, Clayface starts to look, and he starts to realize that was him. Like, he starts to see images of his former roles, because he used to be like this. He is this famous actor, and then he starts to transform. He's like, no, I'm losing control. I can't maintain all these personalities at once. It's impossible. It's impossible. So he does that, and then eventually, you know, collapses, and then he apparently dies. But later on, they discover that, you know, that really wasn't Clayface. That was just a small, like, piece of clay, and that the real Matt Hagen had disappeared. And then Bruce Wayne is, of course, let off on his charges. And then we see at the very end of this episode, this one girl, like, walks up to camera, and she starts laughing maniacally. Granted, she's in public here. It is a creepy ending. It's one that kind of stuck with me for years, of her laughing maniacally, like, and she's laughing like a crazy sociopath. And then, you know, You see her eyes glowing, and that's pretty much it. I know it's meant to be a creepy ending, but like she is out in the middle of public. Don't you think people are just gonna be stopping and looking at her, going, "Why is that lady laughing like a maniac? And why are her eyes glowing yellow?" It's just one of those things that just like it's a creepy ending and like one that sticks with you. But at the same time, logically, like wouldn't anybody question it? But yeah, it's kind of a funny one. But yeah, it's weird. You know what I mean? Like it's just one of those things that I thought about. But anyways, Feet of Clay Part 2. It's a good episode. Is it one of my favorites? I wouldn't say it's one of my like top 10 favorite episodes. Like in terms of two-parters though, it's better than some, but I think as far as two-parters go, I liked the Two-Face two-parter and the Cat and the Claw one more. I do like Clayface as a villain. I think he is pretty interesting how he can like transform into anybody. But I think at this one, it's a good start to him. But I think, you know, there's better two-parters and there's better villains on the show. But yeah, but there's still there's one more Clayface episode after this that I really remember, which was Mudslide. I think that one was actually I may have liked that one more. But like I said, this one it's a good episode, but it just doesn't hold up quite as well as some of the other ones. I don't think it's the best two-parter in the show, but it's still a solid time, and I think you'll pretty much enjoy this if you're a fan of Batman the Animated Series, because like it is a good take on Clayface. So, yep, I think that's going to wrap it up for this part. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of Feet of Clay Part 2. Did you like it more than Part 1? Do you like Part 2 more? Do you like Part 1? Whatever you want to do. What do you think of Ron Perlman as Clayface? I think the animation is great, and I do like the storyline of Clayface, but I do think that there are better two-parters, and I still like Feet of Clay Parts 1 and 2, but, there's better episodes out there, and I think the Mudslide episode, and there was one episode, actually, in the New Adventures that has Clayface that's actually my favorite episode with him in it. It was with Robin and, like, this little girl who's being chased by Clayface. I think that's actually, like, the best one with Clayface. But we're not there yet. Eventually I'll try and get to the New Adventures, but like I said, I'm going through and watching every episode of Batman the Animated Series, the original one, which is like the first 3 volumes in the set, and then once that's done, I'll do like a written review, and then I'll probably go into the New Adventures. Just want to get all the DC Animated Universe stuff out of the way at some point. So, anyways, that's going to wrap it up. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all later.